Hey Dude Nation, welcome to episode 9 of the Dude, Who Are You and What Do You Do podcast. This is Ed Rossich, your Chief Executive Officer. I'm here with Isaac Josephs of our CA group. Isaac, how are you?
Hey Ed, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. A little tired. I just got off a red eye from Washington State and on caffeine and Red Bull, basically. So who knows what happens over the next 20 minutes here. So you and I bumped into each other a couple of weeks ago. Thanks for the tip on the color purple.
Yes. How'd you like it?
My wife and I really enjoyed it. Very talented people here in Durham. A great theater vibe at DPAC. So really enjoyed that. You're a theater major, right?
Yeah. So my background is in theater. So I grew up in the area. So I'm from the Raleigh area. Been here all my life, and went to school for theater, and I love theater. But I worked in sales for several years and determined that there's something else I wanted to do. And I heard about the Dude and heard nothing but great things and what the Dude was doing, and heard that there was a lot of great people, a lot of kind people, but also a lot of very intelligent people. So here I am.
That's great. Well, you sort of glossed over the sales thing. You worked for Best Buy in sales for a long time. It wasn't just a 6 months in between college thing. Tell Dude Nation a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, so I worked for Best Buy for over 3 years, about 3.5 years. So I really liked it. I did sales, but I just determined that I really loved client interaction. I loved kind of the service end of it. More outspoken, so I like kind of the presentation end of it. So client services was kind of the place for me. So kind of ended up there.
Got it. Now you're a client advisor for Dude. Tell the world what that's about.
Yeah, so I support our clients across all verticals. So not just school, not just government. So I do kind of it all. So school, government, healthcare. I'm on the classic maintenance team. So with that, I do cover maintenance direct, work order, PM direct, mobile 311, kind of all of our classic products. So on a given day, I can talk to several clients. Just kind of depends. Every day is a different day, which is what I love about it. Support clients through chat, email, oftentimes at the same time. So I love it.
That's great. Now, all verticals, like how dependent though is any particular vertical knowledge? Are there nuances between the verticals that you have to be cognizant of, or?
Well, I would say a lot of our healthcare clients have switched over to the Works Hub. So most of the clients are either education or facility, so facility or government, and those products work very similarly. So I would say the knowledge is about equal. In terms of what the knowledge base has to be.
Got it. And I don't know I guess we call them cases. Like how many cases will you attack in a regular day?
It really is just going to depend on the day. I would say average might be 20 or so, 20 or 30, just depending. If it's a very, I guess we can call it busy day, we have a lot of inbound calls, then it can be, 40 or so, or if you spend a long time on one complicated case, you might only have 10 that day. So it just, every day is different, but every case is unique, every client is unique, their background's unique, and that's what I love about it, is no one's the same, it's all different.
I imagine no one ever calls just to say, hey, things are going great today. How do you motivate yourself knowing I'm getting up again and all I'm going to hear about is issues, troubles, things that need fixed? Like, how do you motivate yourself to stay up for a job like that?
Well, luckily, all of our clients are for the most part, really, really nice and really happy. They love what they do. They know we love what we do. They know the Dude in terms of what we do, and they know that we're genuinely happy. And so having that happy vibe and that attitude and that and the team that I work with is what inspires me. That I know that if there's an issue that I can't fix, if I can't fix it on the spot, if it's going to be something that's going to be a several day process, I have that support and that backbone and that team that they're there. So I constantly have the motivation that whatever the issue is, we're going to get it. We're going to take care of it.
That makes sense. Now, I noticed you started in July of 2017. How long did it take you to learn your craft enough to get on the phone and actually help clients with challenges? How long did that take?
Well, it's kind of always an ongoing process. The initial onboarding was really, you learn your main set of products about 90 to 100, 120 days. Mm-hmm. But then you're fully, supporting clients individually. Probably, 6 months is your golden mark. I would say so. But it's always a learning experience. There's always something every single day that, wow, I didn't know that it could do that.
And what happens when that, for you, like when you get I'll call it a stumper, like, wow, I haven't seen that. What's your lifeline? How do we handle those behind the scenes?
Well, first I'm a little disappointed because I want to be able to fix it right then and there. I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I want to, I love what I know and I want to be able to fix it right away, but I also love learning. So, I have the support and the backbone of my peers. I have binders and binders of notes from when I was onboarding, when I was learning. So I will go and flip through my notes and try to find it, and oftentimes I'll be like, oh yeah, that was that, or I will, I have my senior advisors and my managers and peers, and they will often be my support and
mm-hmm.
help me help my clients.
Yeah. What's the most challenging part of your day when you?
Well, kind of like being a perfectionist it's a little challenging to me to not always know the answer.
Uh-huh.
I want to be able to answer it for them always.
Got it. No, that makes sense. You have a very active volunteer life, I noticed. Tell Dude Nation about that.
Yeah, so I love volunteer work, especially internationally. So I'll be going to Kenya actually in July of this year. So I love international mission work. I love working with homeless ministries and like soup kitchens, feeding projects. So that's kind of one of my passions outside of work and what I do. So I really love that, and that's why international missions are great, because I do love travel. So mm-hmm. travel is one of my other passions, but it's great to see a different culture and talk to different people and that kind of thing. It's all communications based.
It's an interesting thread that runs through a lot of dudes that this is the 9th podcast, and I'd guess maybe half of them, if not more, that I've talked to have a very active volunteer set of DNA in them. How did that start for you? Is this something you sort of grew into, or is it something you woke up one day and said, I want to get back? How does it work for you?
I've grown up with the culture of it's important to give back, but I've also through church and through my faith and that kind of thing it's been important to me, and that's been my passion to serve. So
good for you. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Good to hear that. Besides that, any other cool hobbies or special talents, superpowers that you'd care to share with just a few people?
Other than my travel is I'm gone almost every weekend somewhere. So mm-hmm. my close friends and family are always, where are you going next? So my mind is always wandering and thinking of what's next. So
what's the coolest place you've been to?
I love Disney, so I love wherever a Disney ship will take me. So I love the Cayman Islands. Grand Cayman is beautiful. So love the Caribbean and
mm-hmm.
those islands.
Hard not to. Well, thanks for sharing that kind of stuff. We typically reserve a few minutes to throw some questions out my way that might be on dudes' minds. So I'll turn the microphone to you.
Yeah, so what motivates you? So you asked me what motivates me. So what motivates you to be a CEO, to have all the responsibilities that come with that? Yeah,
so I think Maslow's hierarchy of needs, going back to that, there's a lot of truth to that. And I'm sort of in the self-actualization stage, I think, of my career. And what motivates me actually is helping people build their careers, helping take a business to the next level. I say this, of course I want to get paid, but I don't do this for the money anymore, so to speak. It's more about the gratification I get from seeing people perform and beyond what they might have expected, or see the business take a direction and growth that maybe people hadn't anticipated, and having some fingerprints on that. So that's probably how I get most of my motivation.
That's awesome. So, what's a day in your life look like in terms of headquarters? I know yours has to be different every day.
It is different every day. I have a big mix of different responsibilities. You know, with the CEO, you have so many stakeholders. Obviously, you have employee stakeholders, client stakeholders, investors, partners. Now, one of the things I realized, there's an external community stakeholder. You know, I get pinged a lot from the external community for this, that, and the other. So my day is a big mix of things. It typically starts around 3 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Usually studying, reading, answering emails, and I go for a run. I'm usually in the office by 7. I'm usually walking out around a quarter till 6, and then
Wow.
eating and then hitting back on email. So it's a busy day. I spend probably 30% of my time on people, people issues, people meetings, one-on-ones, group meetings. You know, a decent amount of time just thinking about the business and strategy, and then looking in on operations. So there's no time to be bored, and it just keeps coming, you know. So.
Right. And I know with your book, you talk about a solid handshake, and talk about your dad, you know, teaching you the solid handshake, and how important that is. So how often do you find yourself, you know, critiquing someone's handshake?
You know, I actually do. I hate it. It's probably one of those things that's probably not good about me, but you know, you can tell a lot by how people shake your hand, you know.
Right.
They look you in the eyes, it's firm, are they trying to get dominance on you? I mean,
right.
All the 15 things. But you know, as I said in the book, the handshake really is a metaphor.
Right.
And it's not really, I've dealt with some great people that had, you know, that fishy handshake, you know, dead fish handshake, and then I've met some real bad people that you know, looked you in the eye and shook your hand very firmly. So awesome. Well, it's been good sitting down with you and meeting you. Really appreciate what you and your teammates do for our clients and the company. It's one of the most thankless, tough jobs we have in the building, and I just want to let you guys know I appreciate it. So with that, signing off on this episode. Thanks to Nation for tuning in.